All right, folks, we're about to engage on yet another exciting build video. This time we're diving into the Enterprise D stages 11 through 14. So enough talk, let's get into it. That's right, guys. We're back, and this month we have one of the gifts arrive with our shipment from Fanhome's Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation. So let's jump over to the build table and take a look. Here you see the screw kit that is included with, I believe this is the 5th shipment uh, from Fanhome. And you can see not much to it. I've already put some of our screws in there. It is pretty flimsy, I'll tell you that. This isn't any kind of high quality box or anything, and it's the positions or the slots are pretty large. So these little tiny screws, that's room for a lot of screws. So I don't know how useful this box is going to be, but hey, it's better than nothing. So there you have that. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and prepare the build plate for stage 11. In this issue, we are going to start filling out the rest of the structure for the saucer section. I also, if you remember from a previous video, we had an issue with the battery box tester. So we got a new one of those in as well and got that assembled and tested, and it is working good. So we'll be able to test some key components in this build. So let's head back to the build plate and get started on issue or stage 11. And again, so we are going to start here with the rear, and we're going to be inserting these rear window pieces, and they will fit nice and snug into the recesses that are carved into the back of the rear neck. And the interesting thing about this Star Trek Next Generation Enterprise D Fanhome kit is that it is just one issue, where other kits seem to come with 4 separate issues. These Star Trek ones come with 1 issue each shipment with all 4 stages in it. And so with that rear window piece in place, we are now going to position our LED lights for that section. And it starts by bending a 90-degree turn in one of the lights. This particular one that we'll be bending is the one with the black and yellow wire, and that's to ensure that these fit in there nice and snug. Typically, these don't lay very well, even though there's a little stem or nub on the plastic to help hold the wires in place. It generally doesn't work very well. So you got to kind of lay these in there, and then when you position the back plate on the window piece, it'll help hold those in position. Get ourselves a little mood music here. And once we have these in place, we're going to grab the rear window reflector, and then we will be securing that with 4 BP screws. Again, these don't lay super well, so it's always a little frustrating trying to fit these. Appreciate you watching the video. While we're doing this, if you have not yet subscribed, I'd sincerely appreciate if you would smash that subscribe button. And if you like this video and are interested in seeing more, ring the bell and smash the like button. We'll grab our BP screws here. On our second one. This will help hold this in place so I don't have to continue to press this up to keep the LEDs from falling out. One of the interesting things about this particular issue is it's really focused on some of the episodes. So this covers kind of an in-depth article on each of the episodes 6 through 12 of season 1. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, there's all kinds of trivia there. I'm not too concerned myself, so I won't be reading any of these, but for the die-hard Trekkies, there's some info for you. I'm really more of a Star Wars guy myself, but I've always liked this particular ship, so I was intrigued to build this model kit. And as you see, as we get the structure of the saucer section really fleshed out this time, just how massive this thing is going to be when it is done. So with that completed, we will grab the piece of the saucer section frame from a prior stage, and we will be attaching the structure here. The frame is from stage 10, and we're going to take the upper skeleton and align it with the screw post of the skeletal supports. And then we're going to fasten these in place using 4 BM screws. And since this is metal, again, we use our 3-in-1 lubricant to make sure that it glides right in and is able to lock in there without stripping the screws. It really helps with these metal pieces. With the announcement of Bat Games and the Kelvin Timeline Star Trek, I actually, over the holidays, decided to watch one of the con episode of the J.J. Abrams Kelvin Timeline Star Trek, because I hadn't seen it since it came out. And honestly thought it was better the second viewing from when I originally saw it. Pretty interesting take on the Khan storyline. Wasn't the best, but fairly entertaining. Just tighten these up And with that, stage 11 is complete. So there you have stage 11. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into stage 12 and get working on the left side of the rear section. So back at the rear section, we're going to take our other window insert and lay that in place. And we're basically going to do the reverse of what we did in stage 11. So we are going to take the other side of the LED wire, the blue and red line, and we're going to bend that one 90 degrees. And then we are going to slot the other LED wire into the top section. And then we'll be securing that with the rear window reflector, again using 4 BP screws. So as I mentioned before, these are always fun to lay in here. So try to bend these a little bit so that they're kind of out of the way and keep them in place, and that we can fit the wires in and out of the way, along with these LEDs in the indicated slots. While we're recording this, CES 2024 is going on. Really, I'm kind of disappointed this year. I haven't seen anything really exciting. I was, as you know, if you watch this channel, I'm really big into AI and really kind of expected a lot of really cool AI devices to show up. And maybe we're still just a little too early. I know there's a lot of AI things going on out there, but none of them seem truly all that innovative. It seemed like really scratching the surface on what can be done right now. So it'll be interesting to see how a lot of those things develop over time. In the home arcade space, there really wasn't anything all that exciting. You had My Arcade out there with pre-releases of their Atari box, a new design they're calling the Remix design. They also have a couple different countercades, one 7.5 inches, the other 10.5. All Atari. A new handheld that's pretty, 7-inch screen. So you're talking, Switch size almost. And again, all Atari. So not sure who the market is for those, but we'll see. I also have Hyperkin, announcing basically a modern version of the Sega Nomad. Probably never going to see the light of day. Hyperkin likes to make these big announcements with these devices at CES, and most of the time they never actually come out. Be interesting to see if that one actually does, though, but I won't hold my breath. And of course, Arcade 1-Up famously is ditching this year. Not that, they haven't presented there in a while, but they've at least been in the area and announced new products, and they didn't do any of that. Have some interesting news for Saturday to talk about regarding some of their staff, so hopefully you'll join us for that on our Saturday night live stream. Got some other interesting news to talk about with Polymega, so it should be a good one. We'll get this last screw in here. Excellent. And now we get to test this. Let's see if we can get our lights working here. We'll just route these cables. trying to lay them out like they've indicated on the screen on the you see the picture here on the manual. I want to make sure they're kind of flowing the same way because that will matter as we start assembling other pieces to this. This is going to be our moment of truth. We're going to plug these in. And we'll have to slot them as they're indicated in the instructions here. They are labeled. So when they go into this test PCB, it's pretty easy to align them. Just need to make sure here that I have them pointed in the right direction so I don't damage the pins. So constantly be reusing this for testing other lighting. As you can see, we have light. But it will be pretty cool when this is all done and you'll be able to see all the lights light up on the entire starship. It'd look pretty cool. Quite going in right. Oh, got him. There we go. Fully lit up. Pretty cool, exciting to finally see some lights in this model, so very excited. So there you have it with stage 12 complete. We will now jump over to stage 13, and now that I'm thinking about it, I did not actually finish stage 12. There's a couple pieces of the saucer frame. So let's jump back over there. We'll finish that one and do stage 13, and all the pieces are now laid out. So let's get to it. So we got our other section here, and as part of stage 13, and our frame supports from stage 12. So we'll get those attached in one. Gonna have a couple here on each side. And again, whenever we're doing a metal, I'm gonna use that 3-in-1 fluid I like to talk so much about. Nice thing is, a little goes a long way. You know, I've been using just this little cap full for the last several months. Haven't needed to refill it in both this kit and the kit. So if you're interested in seeing kit from Knight Rider, I do have that series. There's a playlist on my channel, so be sure to check that out. That one's coming along. We're most of the way through at least the chassis section on kit. And we are attaching these with BM screws here. And these, of course, these have little posts that slot right into the holes that they go in, which really makes it easy to position these. So we'll flip on over to the other side and do these other supports. And again, we're using 4 BM screws to lock these in place. As I've said previously in this series, I really like building these kits. I've done the DeLorean. You can get a glimpse of that in my shorts. And in a couple weeks ago on our Saturday night live stream, I did a walkthrough of my home arcade and game room. You can check that kit out there as well. And if you missed that, be sure to check that out. It's pretty long. I like to reminisce on some of the pieces that have some meaning and nostalgia for me, so I kind of walk you through all that stuff, and probably be the most in-depth one I do. I think if there's ever future game room tours as we update things, it'll likely just go a lot faster. But I really wanted to share some of the stories around those pieces, so if you haven't seen that one, be sure to check it out. But I do I figure I'm going to be building these kits. Might as well film them, as we do it. I know it's been really helpful for me in some of these to see, get some tips and tricks from other people. Really makes the experience a lot better if you ever decide to tackle one of these. They do have some cool new ones out. I saw there's a Optimus Prime now for Transformers. It doesn't actually transform, but it is huge. Yeah, very big kit, so it looks pretty cool. I think before I've mentioned they have a really neat RoboCop. They have Iron Man. They have a kind of robotic ET, so it's has a silicone skin around it, so it looks like ET, but it moves, the neck moves. It's pretty cool. And so with those struts in place on the skeleton, we're going to put another one of these support structures on and extend our skeleton piece here. been a couple panels in previous issues, and I'm excited to start applying the panels to these skeletals, but I guess I get to wait for a future issue for those, because it'll really start filling that out and looking more than just this big giant metal contraption. But you can start seeing here just how truly big this thing is going to be. It's about 17 inches across, the horizontal cross section of the skeletal structure of the saucer section. So as you can imagine, that is pretty large. And with this all being metal, it is going to have some weight to it. So I'm really intrigued to see how the neck piece is going to hold up this heavy saucer section when it's all done. And again, we're using BM screws to attach this, as mentioned previously. All right, with that done, now we are going to return to the rear neck piece, and this time we are going to slot in and attach our impulse engine. And that is this red piece right here. And we're going to attach this to the neck with 3 DP screws. This other piece here will be saved for stage 14, so we will keep that to the side and make sure not to lose that. Should just slide in here, but a little trouble getting it to line up. And there we go. Right, and as I mentioned, we will attach these with the DP screws. There should be 3 of them. I really hate these little tiny screws. Just bump them and they come right off the alignment. Alrighty, there we go. Stage 13 is complete. And it's actually complete this time. That little white piece, as I mentioned, is for stage 14. And so, looks like the build plate is ready to go. So let's jump back over, get this thing finished for this episode, and get to it. Again, everything's laid out here We've got another skeletal piece to the saucer upper section of the saucer skeleton. And so we will attach that with our 4BM screws, and of course we'll get those lubricated with a 3-in-1. It's probably the opposite of Loctite. Hopefully you all are staying warm out there. Here in Kansas City, it is supposed to be a horrendously cold weekend this weekend. Throughout the week, I think we're looking at freezing rain, snow, and then by the time the playoff game starts, I think it's -1 with wind chills of -2. On Sunday, I think our high is going to be -3. It is definitely colder than normal here in Kansas City. It usually doesn't get that cold. There it is, folks. Almost the complete saucer, and it is ginormous. Look at how big that is. It's gonna be impressive when this thing is done. Very, very big. All right, let's jump back to our rear neck section. And first up, we're going to take the main impulse engine reflector from that stage 13, and we're going to slot this in to the engine reflector. So this little clear plastic piece that just kind of slides right in here. Make sure we got that angled right with its shape. This slides in. Not much to that. And then we're going to slot the combined reflector parts into the main impulse engine in the back of our neck here. Again, just slides right in. Next, we're going to fit the main impulse engine light into the main impulse engine reflector, and we're going to be securing that with a single VP screw. Make sure our LEDs are facing the right direction. We do have a little pin here, so I'm not sure which way this goes. It might be upside down. If that looks right. So let's flip that over, and then we're going to secure that with a single VP screw. Alrighty, and with that locked down, we're now going to fit the assembly to the back of the main impulse engine and then fix that with 2 CP screws. And that should line up. We got a couple of mounting holes and brackets there. Grab our CP screw. This last one in here. Go. And to finish out this stage, let's test this light, make sure it is working. So we'll grab our tester box, flip this over. Making sure we line up our posts and insert this in the appropriate slot here. Just like that, we have light. And there you go. All lit up. Pretty neat. So that does it for stage 14 and does it for today's build video. I want to thank you all for joining us, and until next time, have fun.